What's going on? I wanted to come out here and show you guys my kayak rig for 2025. The season's over. Wanted to kind of run through what I had on this kayak and kind of what worked and what didn't. I didn't expect it to be snowing today, but it is. Just got off of work, so out here it's pretty cold and windy, but so we're going to try to make it pretty quick, but we're going to get into it here real quick. So we're going to start it off from the front to the back here. I bought this kayak used. A lot of this stuff was already on it, and I've just kind of kept it and kept rolling with it. Nothing was really a problem that was on it. Nothing that I really wanted to change, other than just like some of the locations of things. So I did some of that, but it's pretty well the way I got it, just with my own accessories and flair to it. So gonna go ahead and start at the front here. So starting off the front, this is a mounting plate for the XI3, because the guy that had this before me had an XI3 on it. I don't have a motor, as you guys saw all season, so that's just a spare plate. I like it for the carry handle. It's pretty sturdy. Moving on to my lights here. Got the red and green navigation lights there. This front hatch opens up and you can get inside there and do all your wiring and whatnot. Inside of there, there's some battery cables and stuff. These tubes, I don't know what he used these for, but I think that they were to run anchor lines. I've never used them, but I just leave them there because they're not in the way. Not really an issue. Moving on back here, got my net, which I leave propped up right there for easy grabbing. Got the pedal steering here, which I never used, never hooked them up because I was already pedaling here, so I just steered with my rudder handle there. This here is a little battery box. Got all kinds of wires and batteries, or a battery in there. Comes up here to this guy here with a little splitter inside of there, but it comes up to this guy, which powers my graph, which this year my graph was whenever the year started, I was using a Garmin Striker 4, but then I upgraded to this Garmin EchoMap UHD 73 SV with the GT54 transducer. So the older model, it's discontinued now, but it did me well this year. Probably going to roll with it into the beginning of next year and then eventually upgrade. The other side of that splitter goes to this guy, which is a little charger. Got the regular USB, the Type-C, which then normally I'm filming with the camera that goes right here now, but normally I'd run a wire through there underneath this pedal up to there, plug it in, and that is the camera that films like that. This box, little throwaway for all my used lures, extra tools. I keep stuff like these protective things for the graph and stuff like that in there, but just stuff that I use a lot of, O-rings, wacky hooks, stuff like that. And then whenever I cut off a bait and want to have somewhere to throw it quickly, I put it in there. The bottom side of this I use for spare plastics. I put mostly whatever the hot thing is. So if I'm catching them on green pumpkin Senkos, I'll put green pumpkin Senkos in there. Another thing that I do with up here, if like I know at some point I'm probably going to want to try out this underspin, I'll leave this underspin in here so that way I can grab it quickly. Moving on to the pedal drive, I got the X drive from Vibe. It worked pretty good all year. Had several issues with it, but nothing that I couldn't fix on my own. So a little bit of maintenance, but nothing crazy. Going on to here, got the catch board on a tether here. Under here is this quick tray where I keep plastics, keep a bag of some tools and some markers, leader line, stuff like this, where it's like my wacky tool. And I try to keep a bunch of stuff tethered here just in case. My scissors, my pliers. The best part about these tethers is whenever this is underneath my seat, I can just reach down and grab the tether. I don't have to dig through this whole pouch to find something. Moving on to this real quick. I don't know the actual name of it, but I know it's made by a Yak gadget, and it just goes here on your gear tracks, and it winds up this cord through this little eyelet here. It goes to this plate, which holds this doohickey here, which runs the line through there, and then clips onto this little deal there. And that is my manual power pole that works off a crank. It works really well for me because I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a electric one with a button, you know. The seat here, it's got these little seat risers on it. I didn't put them on, he did. I love them though. I got the Eco Fishing Shop kayak cushion. I got this for signing up early for the Big Bass 250 in 2024. This here, this kayak cushion, I should have bought this as soon as I started kayak fishing. It's probably the best purchase that I didn't even purchase it. It's the purchase that I really should have done sooner. It's a great piece of equipment. I know other brands make them too, and they might be good as well, but I know that this one is definitely worth the money. Got this standing platform here. Never once used it because it's very scary. Your center of gravity goes way up in the air, as you can imagine, whenever you try to stand on it. So I never used it. Just standing on this alone would get me high enough if I really had to stand up like that high. I avoided it, you know, for the most part, just because it did get scary. Hopping over to the other side here, I've got the Yak Attack double header paddle mount, and the paddle that I keep on board is a backwater assassin that I got at the Big Bass 250 in 2024 as well. This setup is great. Allows me to get to it quickly and not have to worry about my paddle leaving, falling off or anything like that. I drive down the highway with it like this. I just use those and then run this bungee over to there. So the battery box there that I showed you guys only runs the graph and the camera there. This battery goes into here, which goes to my Yak Power system. The Yak Power system button is right there next to my seat. It's really easy to get to. But this battery powers that, which would run a motor if I had one on the front or the back, but I don't. It runs back here to my 360 light and my Yellow Tech to charge my back camera all day. And it runs to those light strips up front for my navigation lights. Moving on to the crate here. I didn't want to buy a black pack because it was too expensive. So I got 2 file crates from Walmart, and I did some zip ties for the hinges, and then just did a bungee cord to hold it closed. For my top, it is the Vibe canvas platform thing that goes up here. I don't know what they include it for. I don't really know the purpose, but I like it here. Just got that secured with a bungee. Can take off that bungee, open this guy up. Back here I keep plastics, camera gear, spinner baits and buzz baits, dude wipes, can't leave home without them. I was using this binder this year for big swim baits, glide baits, that kind of thing, and it works really good, but I think I might go with the Plano ones for next season because they're looking pretty nice as well. They're a little bit bigger, but I think I'll like them. And last thing in here, I lay at the very bottom, is a line bag. Don't judge me on the logo on there, got it for a good deal. Moving on to the lower compartment, I really only leave this bungee on whenever I drive because whenever I'm fishing, it's just easier to leave it like this, and then I can just fold it open. But whenever I drive, I hook this up just to keep it from flying open and losing everything up here. This year I went to the Plano Edge tackle trays, and I actually really like them. I keep, you know, I could keep 6 of them total in here, but I like 6 regulars and 1 thin, and then if I want to, if I really need to, I can move one of these out of here and then lay a 3700 deep in here. But this pretty much holds all of my hard baits that I need, and then that glide bait binder up top holds the rest of the big baits and stuff that I might need on a day of fishing. Then on the sides of the crate, I just zip tied some of these triple rod holders here. So I've got 3 rod holders on each side of the crate, plus the 2 rod holders that come on the kayak. So I can hold a total of 10 rods here without any kind of an issue. On a regular tournament day, I would keep exactly what I've got here, 8 casting rods and 2 spinning rods. My goal is always to use as little spinning rods as possible just because I don't like that style of fishing. So if I can get away with 9 or 10 casting rods, I will. But this is just a few of them here. Got those 5. Hop over on this side, and then I've got those 5. A tip for whenever you're doing something like this, if you have this this push-pull anchor deal here, is this rope coming through, you know, it goes right past those things. So whenever I have treble hook baits, I always keep them over here, so I just don't have to worry about them getting caught up in that. And then moving on back again, I've got another hatch here to get inside and do your wiring and whatnot. So it's pretty easy to do with that one, the one up front, and I forgot to tell you, but there is one underneath the seat right in there. So you can get inside the hole in 3 different places and do all your wiring. I already showed you the Yellow Tech stick, the power stick, or Navlite power stick, whatever. And then I keep that tethered here, just in case it something happens and it gets caught up in a tree or something tries to pull off. But this is a never lost tether that I got from a KMO award ceremony. I love it. And then because I felt like I would like to have a flag just for safety, I just electric taped a boat flag minus the suction cup, a swimming boat flag, and I electric taped it here, so I have that flag on all the time. And then coming back here, got the drain plug. Pretty much never take that out. I've got this SAI Super Rudder. I don't think they're even in production anymore, but it's like an anodized aluminum rudder. It gravity falls the way the regular one is supposed to, but the regular one doesn't, like the stock one. So this one is great. It actually falls the way it's supposed to. It comes up easier. It's aluminum, so it's not going to snap. I snapped another one. Regular one. These are a lot easier to use because you're not tying knots, you're just slipping it through there and then tightening it down. So that's a really great design. I love this thing. If you guys were going to get a Vibe Shearwater, this would be the first upgrade I would get aside from that kayak cushion. Then coming on to the very back, just got my flag for whenever I'm driving, so that way you've got another thing to see whenever I'm going down the road, so that way hopefully you don't hit me. Just trying to protect the investment. Whenever I travel, I usually go one ratchet strap, one ratchet strap through this carry handle, across the front, into that carry handle, and then tighten it down so it stays tight and secure on the way without bowing the hole. I'd love to go through the trailer with you guys, but the trailer is in a horrible state of disrepair, and it would be embarrassing to show you guys everything that looks like. So I'm just not going to show you that today. I'm planning on getting a new trailer very soon, so that way I don't have to keep using this one. Yeah, it's in horrible shape, and I could fix it, but it would be the same price as getting a new trailer. So, one last thing that I forgot to mention is this guy right there, my identifier from Trash Panda Decals. I just have that taped on, but from Trash Panda Decals, I think he used to call it a double up or something like that, and so I got that. Displays a couple companies that support me, my social media handle, and then had the KBF for this year. I won't be doing that again, but have the KBF logo or whatever for this year, so that way I can do the KBF Challenge Series tournaments and not have to switch identifiers. So this is a great investment as well. You don't have to print out a new one. You just wipe it with an alcohol wipe and get to fishing. So that was my tournament rig of 2025. It's not perfect. There was some things that I would change, but it served me well, and I'm very happy with it. I came out of an Ascend 12T paddle kayak, and I paddled that thing everywhere, and it was very, very nice to have the pedal drive, have that speed, have the almost hands-free fishing. You know, it was a huge upgrade from that, and it was a great second kayak. That being said, I am planning on upgrading this coming season. You guys will have to stay tuned for the new boat walkthrough with a new trailer and all the fixins. So you guys are going to like that. I'm going to like it. It's hopefully going to allow me to focus on the fishing side a little bit more rather than just trying to stay fighting the wind manually or whatever. You know, hopefully it'll open up more opportunities for me and lead to some more success and maybe some more checks written and higher place in AOY, that kind of stuff. So that being said, I don't think that gear makes the angler. I don't think that gear will improve you at all. The only thing that extra gear and extra money and whatever is going to do for you is allow you to focus on what you want to do more. And so it opens up more opportunities. But if you don't have the skill, then buying new junk isn't going to give it to you. So I'm not trying to promote you guys to run out and buy a $10,000 kayak rig because you think it's going to make you good. It won't. Still got to put the time in on the water. Still got to fish hard. Still got to make good decisions. Still got to hone your own skills and pay a lot of attention to what is going on, because buying equipment and having a live scope set up and a trolling motor with spot lock and just being able to pick out fish, it isn't as easy as it seems. So I would highly recommend upgrading whenever you begin to outgrow your kayak, not upgrading because you think that you have to have the very best of the best to be able to compete, because at the end of the day, that doesn't matter nearly as much as it seems. It was getting awful cold earlier, and I wanted to wrap it up, and I realized that I didn't really film an outro for you guys, but I'm back home, got warmed up now, and got the kayak sitting right over there. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully that gave you some ideas on how to build your rig, or maybe gave you some ideas on what not to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time.